Hi everyone, this is Jim Todd with Song Surgeon, and in this week's video tip we're going to look at this feature called format preservation, found down here in the key or pitch area of Song Surgeon. Just as a little bit of a backdrop here, when you change key or pitch, and if you're changing key or pitch on instrumental music, you typically have no problems. In fact, you have excellent sound reproduction and you really can't tell much of a difference between the original versus the changed piece. In fact, I like to tell people that if you give the two versions to someone who doesn't know which is the original, they're going to have a hard time telling them apart unless they know the music and know the original key. But that being said, when you start changing the key or pitch of music that has vocals in it, you encounter something called the Chipmunk or Munchkin effect. You probably know what I'm referring to, but let's just demonstrate this to be clear. I have a vocal track open. Let's play it back.
Ay arriba, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Yo no soy marinero.
Okay, so this is the old traditional Mexican La Bamba song, and that's played at the normal key. Now, let's contrast that by changing the key 3/2 steps. When we do that, let's listen to it again.
Ay arriba, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré.
So it's obviously 3 steps higher, but it also begins to take on a sort of unreal chipmunk type of a sound. And the higher we go in terms of pitch change, the more we'll see that. Now what I'm going to do is, as I play this back the second time, I'm going to click this format protection button, and you'll hear in real time as it's playing the change. And when it changes, you'll hear that it'll transform this chipmunking sound back to a much more normal vocal sound. And that's what this format protection does. So let's go ahead and listen and then watch as I insert this format protection.
Yo no soy marinero. Ay arriba, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Yo no soy marinero. Ay arriba, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Yo no soy marinero.
So there you go. It almost sounds like it's not even in the same key, but it is. It's just that the vocals are transformed to a much more natural sound, and that's what we get with this format preservation. So it has a lot of different uses. People that are making backing tracks and have backing vocals in them, as they change the key or pitch of those both up and down, the format protection is something that probably you're going to want to use to preserve the natural sound of those vocals. So that's certainly a big area in which format protection is used. As I said before, if you're just working with music that is strictly instrumental, it's unlikely that you're going to need this. And if you're working on other things that have vocals in them, it's something you might want to experiment with if you start to hear this type of unreal or unnatural sound from the vocals. So this is found in version 4 Windows. Obviously version 4 Mac, when it's released later this spring, will also have this. And that will conclude this weekly video tip.